What's up, y'all? It's yours truly, the Gap Tooth Guru of Gumbo. This Saturday morning, just chatting with you all just to see how things are going in your neck of the woods. I am feeling good, a little tired this Saturday morning. It is my mom's birthday. She's 75 today. And I have really been thinking about all the birthdays. Our family has a lot of birthdays in July, or family and friends, I should say. One of my close buddies, his birthday's at the end of this month. My aunt was birthday was on the 4th. My wife's grandmother's birthday was on the 5th. One of my first cousin's birthday was on the 6th. Just about every day this month. And some days have multiple. My daughter, my oldest child's birthday is this month. One of my uncles, a couple of other cousins, and a whole slew of family friends. It's in July, middle of the year. It's just great. I wish everybody whose birthday is this month a happy birthday. I was, or I always try to come up with a good topic. But the other day I was thinking of a topic for the show that we did Thursday, which was starships and rockets. And I was talking with my buddy Duke, and we were talking about how we had both been traveling. I did my round of traveling, she did her round of traveling, and how you can really get close to God by spending time alone traveling. And even if you got a car full of people, unless they're talking to you, um, you're traveling alone, because if you're driving or flying or sailing the vessel, you pretty much are the one responsible for how safe you get there, excluding the external, which is the unknown. You have control of the vehicle, and your goal is to get from point A to point B. I know that um, people say, Jesus is my co pilot. Some people say, Jesus, take the wheel. I mean, there's a lot of metaphorical terms when it comes to traveling, but I've been on a journey traveling for quite some time, spiritually and personally, altogether, if you will, um, in order to figure out where my place was, is, and will be. Because I'm still at 44, almost 45, struggling with, the places that I uh, came from. If the every experience was actually for me, um, I have a tendency to analyze things, and I used to overanalyze things. And I've been growing to not analyze things so much. But it's kind of hard when you've had life experience not to weigh one thing against the other. But in this journey of, like I said, spiritual for personal growth, and thinking about where I have been and how life has been tough, I know I'm not alone. I know other people have had a tough route. I know that I also have had manifold blessings come that have helped direct and guide, if you will, my journey, as it were. Even knowing that, I don't think every experience was for me, and I have taken on baggage or luggage or whatever you want to call it in an effort to try to be better, and only to find out that I probably should have left some of the lessons and tools that I picked up where they were. My goal in life um, was set forth before I even knew or will come into the knowledge of what it is. And I think about, my responsibilities, my obligations, and I'm like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough keeping them because everybody doesn't respect um, my particular goals, my obligations, my responsibilities. Not even the people who I'm responsible for. I I'm going through midlife with teenagers. I'm not the first person, nor will I be the last. Uh, I'm also in life in difficult relationships. Uh, Maybe somebody else out there can relate, but I have always been a person that's set on principles. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. And I'm learning that if I'm not wrong, to help out or get through a situation, I have said I may be wrong in order to keep the peace, knowing full well that every replay from every angle of the situation, I did what I was supposed to do. But that thing I was talking about, this journey of life and, you know, responsibilities and obligations, and you you cannot afford nowadays to miss too many opportunities to express, and I don't mean verbally, but and I can't think of a better term than that, um, but to express your intention, your notion for which you stand on when communicating. So so you end up, I end up reverting to what I've seen, heard, and experienced. Let's just say experienced as my guide. And relying on that to me is kind of like, now to me, it's starting to be like a false faith. And you got your spiritual faith, and then you got this faith in everything else, right? And when I say spiritual faith, you have a higher power faith, and then you have faith in everything. And the false faith is like just me sitting here. You see me moving. I'm sitting in a chair. Uh, I had faith when I sat down in this chair that this chair was going to hold me. I don't have that much faith in every chair that I've ever sat in. Being a big boy, chairs have crumbled or at least faltered. So I don't have 100% faith in all chairs, but chairs are meant to hold you up. I can look at a chair, assess that it may be able to sustain me, and boom, bap, here I am sitting in one, and it's holding me up. But the faith that I'm talking about, the journey I'm talking about, living now or trying to live, is one that I purely get out of thinking that my experiences set me up for this experience, and rather looking at the totality of others' experiences in the same situation, and in how they interacted and how they catapulted from that situation or this situation to the next. um, I would be remiss if I didn't look at things that way. And I can admit that I haven't. I haven't. I've been looking at life through all of the experience because I've had a lot. I've lived in different places, different states, different parts of the country. I've been in different cultures in different parts of the country. I've belonged to different religions. And not only that, inside of religion, different denominations in religions, which most people don't get a chance to even experience or understand. And then I've had the experience of of a parent dying. I've had the experience of um, one of the worst things that could happen to a person happening, um, in many ways, in more ways than one, I should say. And I I developed a way to view the world through those lenses. Or is it a lens? I think it's lenses. I think you put on different goggles for different situations, right? I'm learning that this may be problematic because I teeter on a fine line of confidence and conceitedness. And I can see where the two get misconstrued, but I have never intentionally done anything that my intent or my notion, my motivation, my inspiration was being conceited. Oh, I've definitely done things for self. Don't get me wrong, and I still do. Most of the time, you do, and some just so happens that even when you do things for you, you've got others standing on your shoulder or hanging on the back of you that you carry along with you anyway. So it's for the team, but my experiences, even though they may be many in numbers, is not a predictor of me being able to do or go places easier, have a mindset of moving from A to B, from B to because of experiences. I'm starting to get around people who have either been where I want to go or are going where I want to go, or who are where I want to be. And I'm going to tell you something. It's like God has been showing me through people that I thought I've been trying to force myself to be around because I said I want to learn these experiences, learn these new people. I want that feeling of, how do you say it? It's not acceptance, but the feeling of togetherness. And the crazy thing is that all my life, no, I'm not going to say I had to fight. All my life, I've been in situations where I've been trying to fit in and trying to get in and either got in or was rejected, but trying to fit in, and the whole time the people in it didn't want me. I still deal with this to this day. There's a lot of things I have done where I'm still trying to get in. And my life has been a story of, and I can only attribute it to angels. Angels blocking me from doing wrong. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but definitely deterring or fencing or hedging me from the danger that is unseen to me. I can only imagine how many situations that I could have been in that could have destroyed me or hurt me, damaged me. I'm gonna say that destroyed or damaged me to the point of utter chaos. And I came out on the other side. Countless times. I attribute them to angels. I attribute them to a spiritual awakening, eye opening encounter. I've mentioned this story one time. I can tell you several. I'll tell you one. So when I was younger, I was really good at selling things. Right, mostly had products that sell themselves. Some legal, some not so much. I got out of the game and got into church heavy. And into church heavy, I really saw so many things working well for me that it just was, you know, it was like God had delivered me from a lot of things that I had been wanting to get out from under. So, um, life hit me in a negative way, and I had to figure out what to do to get by. And I started to dibble dabble back in what was familiar to me. Now, when I dibble back into things that were familiar to me, the game had changed. And the game had changed in a way that, things were moving much faster. And I was ready for it because it was like, second nature. It's like you always got to overcome and adapt. I was driving down the interstate, and I began to think, well, what actually happened was it was about dusk, and it was just past dusk. Let me put it like that. Not going up to it. It was just beyond dusk. So it was beginning to be dark outside, and I was driving down the highway. Now this could be attributed to clouds or the moon or whatever anybody else wants to put on it. I know what I experienced. It was like the the overcast, the darkness broke for literally on the highway, and I was in a lighter area. I'm not going to say it was sunshiny or bright, but I was in a lighter area, and that whole time I was in a lighter area, I began to see the progression of my dealings in this realm that I had jumped back into. And it had progressed to the point where I could see every play. I'm talking about every play that could the potential happen. I don't know if y'all have seen the movie Jekyll. Is it Mr. Hyde? But it's about Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's like the updated version. I don't know who plays in it. Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, one of those main actors, right? I can't recall, but they the the role, the character can see things as they happen. Equalizer. Uh, when Denzel Washington is the equalizer, he hits that watch and he can see what's going to happen and how long it's going to take for each person to make their move. Um, it was similar to that, but it was showing me how quickly I could get to a point of no return, meaning that I would have had obligations, responsibilities so heavy to people around me that there would be no way for me to escape from that. I wouldn't have had any control over my actions. I would have always had to do um, dirt in order to keep everybody involved with me and their families fed. And I really must admit, I haven't been down that road since. There's been temptation, but I haven't been down that road since. But the experience is there. I was talking the other day in the same conversation, I was talking about the traveling from here to there, about how things have changed with the way law enforcement works and with the way people and their ability to be loyal and take care of their business is different. People aren't loyal, and people aren't definitely uh, handle their business to their full potential. So it's not really suitable for me to be involved with because that's the only thing I really want to deal with. That's that progression that I'm talking about of being around people who have the ability, who have the foresight to think that you know what, if I can dream it, I can believe it. And that's been a big thing for me because I hear a lot of dreams but don't know a lot of dreamers, right? And you have to be a dreamer, right, in order to come up with some things that your mind can't possibly fathom. But you got to be able to break out of that dreaming and make it reality. Um, so in order to do that, you really need to focus on the 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 methods and ways that have been tried and true. Now, can people develop their own formula for success? Yes, I do believe you can come up with a rare form. It's not the only one. It's rare. It doesn't mean it's a one off. Because let me tell you something. If it's new, it ain't true. And I've seen things that people thought, oh, had never been done before. And then I learned in research, oh, this was done, you know, eons ago. Hence, being around people that are catalysts for your compulsion to be successful versus people who are problems and persistent um, instigators of your demise. I cannot continue to be in situations where I have to be the strong one. I don't think that's fair to me. I want to be taught. I want to be led. Yes, I want to be led. I don't want to be in a situation where I got to lead. I don't. That's not the situation I want to be in. Now, do I mind leading? No, I don't. But I want to be in situations where I I'm led and guided so that, you know, if somebody happens to be walking beside me or behind me, we're not going off a cliff. We're actually moving in the direction of of the goal that we all have. And hopefully I'm in a group or with a group of people in the middle, ahead or behind, that is going in a direction that I can see where light is. There's got to be some light at the end of the tunnel. I think that a lot of us are doing things and it's a circular, it's a cyclical thing. It's a redundancy of repetitive familiarity that is again because we think, oh, I've had all these experiences, both good, bad, and ugly. Therefore, I can speak to how it is. I can't speak to how the situations that I've had, that I've told you are some of the worst things that can happen to people. I can't speak to what you might have had happen to you, and it's the worst thing that you wouldn't even share. I can't speak to what that is for you. I can only say, from my point of view, that most people don't survive it, especially emotionally and mentally. Let alone the things that people can't survive physically and spiritually. So everything, everyone more than likely has a breaking point. And as you have been conditioned, uh, just like a Mai Tai fighter, is it Mai Tai? No, no, that's a drink. A Thai fighter. They condition their forearms and their shins to be able to hit hard surfaces like other bone, and theirs doesn't break, but the intention is to break down their opponent and their muscles, because your muscles are conditioned to take a lot of trauma. Some people's minds are conditioned to take a lot of trauma. Some people can barely take any. And there is a dramatic or drastic decision made based on you and your ability to accept any challenges that have come to you, let alone anything that has come to hurt you. Weapons do get formed against you. There are people who literally strive to take you down. And they come up with plans. They put the plans into motion, but that doesn't mean they'll prosper. And so I can't worry about who's against me. As a matter of fact, I need people to talk down on me. I need people to give me challenges. I need this, what I'm going through from time to time, because I have to figure out how my response is. I don't always know when I'm being tested. I don't know if I am being tested. I might just be going through life the same way as anybody else, and it's up to me to figure it out. But I know other people have figured it out, and if I could, read a book or get up under their tutelage of how they figured it out, and then figure it out for myself, I think that's the thing that I've been missing because I'm an only child. I'm good with being alone. I'm used to being alone, but I think I'm better with somebody else. But I've not always picked the best characters to be involved with. I was thinking about a decision I made in college. I remember the individuals in my mind I was following. I've got a child that I can see they're a follower and not a leader. And I'm like, man, how can you just allow your brain to go wishy-washy? And I thought about it. Hell, I did the same thing, and unfortunately, I let those people influence me to the point where I made drastic decisions that probably weren't wise. Because sometimes I sit and look and like, you know what? Had you made the decision this way, you wouldn't be dealing with that or this. You know that, right? This was the conversation I had with myself, and I do know, but I made the decision. I've got to deal with it. It's not something I can go and sleep on. I can't sleep on it. I mean, I can sleep on a decision, but I mean sleep on what I've already done, not making one. Having made, I can't sleep on it because I did it or made that decision. Wasn't wise. But I didn't know. I thought with the time I could. I remember the exact moment when I said, "I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go that way." For at least four things in life, I made that decision. I can remember making that. I've made many decisions where you just commit and whatever, but I'm not that I want to make no mistakes anymore. I just don't want mistakes to not be lessons anymore. I want to make a decision and I want to be around people that are making the types of decisions that I would make when I get to where I want to be, where I desire to be, where I am best used as a vessel in creation. And that might be something I started to use. I've been saying, on the planet, in the universe, but I need to say in all creation. Because I do realize that it is possible for one little old thing. Do you realize what a little old plankton does for our ecosystem? One little old plankton. Or what about this? What about one little old virus? One little bitty virus. Have we not learned that little things matter? It's the little things that matter. I had a whole speech that I did on God and talking about the God um, particle. I really believe that the essence of God is in the finite of things, the things that have been going on since existence was called that, since creation. Um, and my thing on it, people were like, "Oh, look at how big God is." Okay, in the sense of what? Oh, because God can handle all kinds of situations. God can handle everything because God is in everything. And if God is in me, if God is in every essence and fiber of my being, and God is everywhere, um, I have more potential than I can even imagine. And so relying on my own self experiences to get me to a next level is seemingly stupid. And I don't like that word. I really don't. But I just like, how dumb can I be to have thought that my experiences, because they're many, um, is a predicator, is a predicator, a predictor of me being successful at the things that I want to be successful in doing. My world is smaller than what some people think a world is to them. I actually realized that I could touch someone in Africa with just a simple WhatsApp text message. Do you know how far away that is? It's like 12,000, 13,000 miles, something like that. Away. Some of us don't even feel like we can touch someone 12 miles away. Hell, I can jump in a car. Now, I know everybody doesn't have the ability to drive or catch a bus or plane or flight, but I can touch you 12 miles away real quick, like in less than 10 minutes, which is quick to me. And I can get you quicker on a text or a phone call. But it's almost like I can do what I can do for somebody 12 blocks away as easy as I can do for somebody 12,000 miles away. That's the ability that God has given us. Can you imagine in another 100 years all the other technology that we have discovered? It's the term I like to use, because it's there. It's discovered to help us um, live our lives better, and hopefully not take advantage of them in order to um, live our lives in a worse way or worse manner. I hope it brings out the best in us, not the worst in us. Hopefully, we'll be able to reach everyone in the world, and that's where it gets dangerous, where you have the ability to reach and touch every single human life on earth, because it's very explicit to me what happens when everyone can communicate with everyone. Not everyone communicate, but when we have the ability to communicate with people um, of different languages and cultures, geographic locations. Because let me tell you, the the the, the responsibility of sharing information and spiritual information, when it's exposed to everyone, I bet you the world changes again. It's going to be a big difference when knowledge is at hand for everyone. There will be a reckoning, and there will be accountability. And I don't want to miss um, what I'm supposed to be doing for creation because I fell down or took a took a nap, if you will, on the job. It's on me. It's of me. It behooves me to be at my full potential at least the majority of the time. I don't know where I'm going to end up at. I mean, as far as what particular level. I have a pretty good idea of my afterlife, but you know how well that is, I already know I'm gonna get in, but I might be standing right by the door, right? But I'm learning that I maybe want to get a little closer. But I've always been satisfied with just being able to fit in or get in, and not necessarily looking at, hey, you want to get up there into the VIP. I don't I don't think I belong in a VIP. I don't even feel comfortable getting up on stages. People say, but you're so good at it. You have a gift that people don't have in front of people. I'm like, you have no idea of the internal struggle to deal with some situations like that. I don't like it. In fact, you'll find that if I have any say so in planning or organizing anything, I will plan and organize myself out of any kind of recognition and or participation. My stain is the fact, I should say stain because a lot of people don't understand that stain means good. But my paint, the where I left paint where it ain't, it was is just that's my body of work. I can actually see the things that I've worked on, you know, help people every day, especially right here in Longview, Texas. Nobody can question me on the things that I've been involved in and how much they help people. Now, will folks recognize that? No. I'm not that kind of person that people want to recognize because I've held people accountable and they don't like that. But they don't realize that that made them a better person. That's who I am. That's how I was built. I know what my gift is. I'm like, what is it, BASF? I should change my name to that or the acronym of that. Brandon Aloysius uh, Squadnum Fiduciary. That's what I should change my name to. I don't know. Because I'm not good at making things. I'm good at making things better. I really am. And if I can do it and sacrifice um, a great many people not liking me because something went down to help out the masses, I've always been down for that because I look at who I like. I don't like a lot of people. Shit, I don't even like some of the people I created, but I love them. I don't like. That's not how this thing goes. So let's work on the advancement. What up, brother?